sir. Is this a badge of honor, or how do you look at this censure?
I mean, it's a defining moment for the party, and I think it's a defining moment for every member of the House or the Senate or, any Republican leader. Kevin McCarthy, obviously, who I think asked about this in response. He just, went after Liz and I. Goes to show he is the weakest leader that has ever, frankly, existed in that position. And so I think every member of the media, every citizen, every person out there needs to pin down every Republican and say, do you side with what the RNC did, or do you condemn what they did? And don't let them, trust me, politicians are really good at kind of skirting around that answer. Don't let them on this one. I think it's so defining.
Well, so I'm curious what your thought is about the definition of what happened on January the 6th. People obviously charging in, breaking the law, going into the Capitol, committing crimes, committing sedition, bashing in cops' heads with American flags, jamming cops' heads into doorways, having several cops begging for their lives, thinking about the children they were going to be leaving behind because of the Trump rioters, beating them within inches of death, in what they certainly believe was inches of death. What do you make of a political party in America, one of the two major political parties in America, now calling that legitimate political discourse?
That was obviously a huge surprise to me. I expected that maybe this censure thing was going to happen. And I think the amazing thing about it is, as Ronna McDaniel, who now is out trying to say, well, that's not what we really meant. Sure. OK, so this whole thing is coming from the January 6th committee, which we're doing because of the violence. We would not be having a January 6th committee if it was all, quote unquote, peaceful and legitimate political discourse. For her to now say, well, all we were talking about were the peaceful people, of course, not the rioters. No, trust me, that's not. That may be what you want to have us believe now. But think about this. It goes through the Rules Committee, which is about 200 members of the RNC. It passes unanimously with a voice vote. There are members on that committee that disagreed with this, that were too scared to speak up and stop this from happening. That, to me, is as disappointing as anything. There are members of the Republican Party, probably who have been there for 30 years, that are scared to death of the mob, excluding them, that they won't even speak up with. The RNC deserves every aspect of backlash that is going to come down on it. And this is a defining moment in American politics and in the RNC's future. Are you for authoritarianism? Are you against democracy? Or are you going to wake up to that slide and come back to actual democracy again?